Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's June 16th, 2023, and I got a massive amount of mail this week. Massive amounts of mail this week. And two people have come through with a lot of the content that you're going to see today. One probably could have his own video for the amount of stuff that was sent this week. I think 11 postcards maybe from that one person. But we're going to put it all together. You're going to see. And sometimes the mail gets caught up on itself too. Things that have been traveling in the system all flood through at the same time. And you get caught up, which this week I did. I got caught up. Plus, we got 6 official postcards came through, which I'm going to show you first. I'm going to say that it's Friday, so we made it through another week of work. It wasn't too bad. The rain is always a little bit of a damper on things when you're working outside, but I didn't get too wet. Most of the times in the morning, it wasn't too rainy. It was maybe a misty or dreary, but the real downpour never really happened until the afternoon or evenings most of the time. So I was very fortunate, so thank you very much for that. This weekend, though, it does look like it's going to be raining. And there was the snowbirds. They are in town. That is the acrobatic jets that we have and that perform around the world. They're in town. They're going to be performing tomorrow and Sunday. So I was hoping to get out to see them. If it's pouring rain, there's not really a lot of point in doing that. And there's also parachuters that were going to be happening and some military vehicles. Plus, the other thing that's happening this weekend is the Highland Games. I did a video last year on it, so I was hoping to get out to do it again. So once again, in the morning when I get up, after I've done my morning video, I will check the weather. If it's decent, then I'm going to head down and shoot what I can so you can get a chance to see it. But once again, if it's pouring rain, I am going to cancel because I am a fair weather festival goer. I don't want to be out in the pouring rain, nor do I want my camera out in the pouring rain. And I really want to show you things at their best, not in a dreary environment. So that's what you may or may not have to look forward to this weekend. Also on Sunday, it's Father's Day. So I'll probably go see my dad on Sunday too. All right, let's get into some post-crossing. I'll take a minute. You can hit the subscribe button. And then if you like the video at the end, you can hit that. And if you really like the video or it really touched you some way and you want to leave me a comment and communicate back and forth, leave me a comment. That'd be great. All right, let's get started with the first card. And it is this one here. It comes from Finland. And look, it is a mailman delivering the mail on his bicycle. And the person that sent this was Rita. And she says, I remember the time when mail carriers were driving bikes. Nowadays, they drive small cars and small and nice electric cars delivering the mail. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to deliver my route on a bicycle. It's too long for that, but I'd love to have an electric car to do it in. So who knows? Maybe one day. There is the stamp, and there are the Stand With Ukraine. So thank you so much, Rita, for that. The next card also comes from Finland, and it's very relaxing. Look, the scene between sky and water and the reflection. Can hardly tell the difference between the two. And this comes from Kirsi, and she lives in a small town called Parkano in the western part of Finland. And she said, today it was snowing. It was only 0 degrees. And this was sent in June, so they were getting snow in June. There's the cool squirrel postcard. So I am glad that it is not snowing here, and hopefully that was just a blip on your radar and you're going to start having summer temperatures again. I know this weekend we're talking about 12 and 15 degrees. Today is going to be more like 24, 25, so we're having a dip in temperature, but no snow, thank goodness. All right, this next card comes from Japan, and this comes from Chiza in Japan, lives in Okinawa, and this picture shows the Nakajin Castle. You can zoom in. And there are the stamps. Thank you so much for that. I really like the stamp here. I don't know about you, but I really do like that stamp. All right, this next card comes from Russia. It's a beautiful garden. Looks like a a great place to wander and explore. And as the summer comes, you got the fountains and probably all sorts of amazing colors. And on the back, it just says, "Nice to meet you. My name is Roman. Hope you enjoy your summer and walks in beautiful gardens." So who knows, maybe. There you have the Russian stamps, Russia, and with the Russian flag through it, and then some more common stamps there. So thank you, Roman, for that. And I don't think it took, it didn't take all that long to get here from Russia. It only took a month. So things are getting better that way. I had a card come from Germany, this one. They didn't date it, but when I came up on the date, it looked like it took a long time, like 2 months or something to get here. But here we have a nice solar system card. And they're from Northern Germany and wanted to know what kind of books that I like to read. They were reading a book about Agatha Christie at the time. And there's the sheepies. So thank you for that, Aga. The next one comes from the United States, and it is a Doctor Who card, cool, with the Dalek Exterminate. So this comes from Sarah. She's 39 years old and always excited to send out Doctor Who postcards. So I'm always excited to receive them. I get to send some of them, which I got last year at the meetup. Sophie had some Doctor Who postcards. She didn't want them, and so I took them. I was very excited to have them to be able to send out to people. So I'm glad to get this one here. She says she's been going to lots of different science fiction conventions and even been to Doctor Who ones for the last 14 years. So that's where she's met a lot of her friends through all these different things. So I'm sure they're very cool friends if they like Doctor Who. And there is the forever stamp. So thank you, Sarah, for that. And my last official one that I have also comes from the United States, and it is a hand-drawn and painted postcard. Love this. And this comes from Angela, and she says, "Peace be with you always. I hope your hedgehog is in a good spirits, and the orange man is just a symbol of good fortune and fertility. Huzzah. Never forget me." So this made me laugh. The card itself made me laugh. I'm glad to have it. I love to have the good fortune. Fertility, I'm all done with that right now. So no more kids for me. So there we go. Thank you, Angela. Oh, and there are the stamps. All right, now let's get into some friend mail. There's a box too. I didn't show you that at the beginning, but there is a box to see too. This one comes from Julianne in Germany, and she said she had a few days off and got to go to Göttingen, and so that's what we have a postcard of. And there are the stamps. I like this one a lot. One day I'll get back to Germany, back to Europe, and see all sorts of the amazing architecture and the history. I loved it out. My wife and I went after university, so we're looking at, what years are we talking? 97, I think we were in Europe traveling around, and we both really loved Germany when we were there. The food was amazing, and the architecture, and yeah, we had a real good time there. All right, this next card comes from Anita in Austria, and she says she'd be attending some postcard meetups. So like I've said, we've got a postcard meetup coming here too in Fredericton, New Brunswick on July the 8th. So I'll keep promoting that. I've sent out some messages through Postcrossing directly to, what I did is I focused on New Brunswick postcrossers, and then I checked see who has been on most recently in the last 3 months. And I'm allowed to send 10 messages a day. So I've sent out to 30 people already that are postcrossers in New Brunswick, just letting them know that the event is going on. I will continue to try to send to a few more, and hopefully we'll get some new faces out, and maybe some of the old faces that came last year too will come out to our postcrossing meetup. And then I'll show you in the video who shows up. So anyways, this comes from Anita. There's the stamp. Who doesn't like a good swing in the moonlight if you can get it? Speaking of Austria and postcrossing meetups, this card comes from Chris, and he was at the Vienna meetup. That was one of the things that Anita says, that you probably will get some postcrossing meetup cards from a couple other people that send messages in the area to me as well. Chris being one of them, and there is a nice meetup card. So thank you, Chris, for that. That happened on June the 3rd. And there's the stamp and the really nice cancellation, easy to see and everything. So thank you for that. And then Carl sent me this Postcrossing meetup, June the 4th. So they had back-to-back in Vienna. And Carl put these stamps on the back, nice train stamp. And another clear cancellation. So thank you, Carl. So thank you, Christian, Carl, and Anita, all in Austria, all in the Vienna area. And I'm very fortunate to get cards from them and have been for a while now. So I appreciate their friendship. All right, the next card is a shrimp boat. We have this one here. This comes from Renee Lewis of Renee Lewis on YouTube fame, part of the Unicorn Gang. There's the unicorn, there's the forever stamp. She said she had a chance to go down to Galveston, which was about an 8-hour drive for her, which is quite a long haul. But she had a nice trip there, and the highlight of the trip was swimming with stingrays. That's very cool. So if you know Renee or seen her channel, she is a lover of the aquatic life and the oceans and the earth in general, I guess. So she is a professor, and yeah, get lots of great information watching her channel. All right, this next card comes from Monty in Saskatchewan here in Canada. We've got an RCMP card. He said he wanted to send this one after the video that I did about the RCMP, because there was a new RCMP stamp that came out, which is this one here. So I did a video on the release of that stamp and a little bit about RCMP history for the 150 years. And we've got a couple there. But then he had this vintage RCMP card. You can see them there, all getting ready to do the ride, whatever it's called. I can't remember now. It's come right into my head. Maybe it's not written on the back. These officers are members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police musical ride. There we go, musical ride. Oh, perfect. So thank you, Monty. We have another vintage card. This one comes from Bob in Ontario. And so we have a lighthouse card here. So I thought you'd appreciate the card. I do. And even more, I appreciate the stamps. Look at all the vintage stamps on the back. I send out one like this. There's two in this series. There's a silver and a gold. So sometimes I send out the silver one. I still have a couple left that I can use. But that's really cool. And it says on it August 1952. So it's an older postcard. Thank you, Bob. This next one comes from Katja in Sweden. So here you have a map of Sweden. And it says, the Kingdom of Sweden, thou ancient, thou free. Currency is the krona. Population has 10 million people. Area is 450,000 kilometers squared. And the language, of course, is Swedish. And there's the Swedish flag there on one of the postcards. And on the back, we have a rural mailman. Love that one. This one is cute here with the kids and the dog and the stick. But, of course, that's the one that I'm focusing on, is the gentleman delivering the mail in Sweden. And yeah, so thank you very much, Katja, for that. It's interesting, on the front it says that the population is 10 million. Canada, as of today, has 40 million people in it. So we've hit a new milestone. I can remember the days when Canada had around 25 million people. So we are growing like crazy. And I'm not sure if this is an accurate card of Sweden as of today. Are they 10 million people, or is this a little bit older and maybe they have more than that? All right, this next one comes from Lila in the United States, and it's lilacs. I have a big lilac bush on the side of the house as well, and it's just kind of getting to that end part. So it was really strong smelling, and now it is starting to peter off a little bit. But she says she loves lilacs. They used to have many in her yard growing up. And she likes the fact that it kind of mimics her name of Lila. And she got these postcards by donating funds through a Kickstarter. So on the top it says, Lilac Bush in Bloom, photo by Diana Coster, April 2014, Wichita, Kansas. And there are the stamps and the really nice cancellation on there. Thank you, Lila. This next one comes from Billy. It's a 1000 yen postcard. And it comes from Netherlands, And she says she loves June for its colors, and the region where she lives is famous for its strawberries and asparagus, and they're best right now. I love strawberries, so we do eat asparagus here from time to time, maybe like once every couple of weeks. I do it up, but strawberries, I love strawberries, so yum. There are the beautiful stamps, also showing nature. Love that. Beautiful card. Thank you, Billy. This next card comes from Kristen in Sweden, and we have the famous dog from Ukraine that is a global phenomenon now, and she thanks me for the card that I sent her, and she's thinking about the travel that she's going to get to do this summer. And here are the stamps, and the stand with Ukraine on the back too. I love anytime I'm getting, you can see the washi tape around is Ukrainian colors too. So I love anytime I get cards from around the world that are in support as well. The more we can show it and put it out there in the mail system and let people not forget that it's still going on, the better. So thank you, Kristen. This next card is a nice apple tree, and this comes from Jilly B of Jilly B Living Her Life Her Way here on YouTube. You have to check her channel out as well. Also a member of the Unicorn Gang. There's the unicorn, their Pride stamp, as it's June is Pride Month in most places around the world. Here in New Brunswick, we don't celebrate Pride until, that's a very bad place to stop my thought. Here in New Brunswick, we don't celebrate Pride until August. That's when the Pride Parade is here, for whatever reason. I'm sure there's some history behind it. Maybe I have to do some research on that and figure it out. But there are the stamps, there's the unicorn, and Jilly said she thought of me in my garden, and when she was growing up, she used to have apple trees in her old home as well. So yeah, I've got an apple tree out that away that has 5 different types of apples grafted on it. But it seems like every year when I get to the point the apples can start getting picked, they've got bugs or rot or something's gotten to them. I have sprayed them in the past to try to get through that blight, but I haven't found quite the right thing to do it that protects them yet. One day I will. All right, this next card comes from Kyler in Prince Edward Island, and you can see all the different bars. It's kind of an advertisement card, and they're linked, so you probably could have cut them. He says he doesn't usually venture into the self-made postcards, but couldn't resist picking up a few of these different cards along the way. Won't get into all of it, but he says they've been going, when he was just in England, they went to a whole bunch of different pubs and tried them out, so had to get the experience. But love the different names: the Queen Victoria, the Piper Art Bar, the Waterman's Arms, Horse and Groom, and the Fox and Cattle. And if you look on the back, he's done is he took the whole series, almost the whole series, of these insect stamps to make the postage to send it here. So thank you, Kyler. And yeah, it was a longer card. And so let's get into the longer cards. We have this one here from the Yukon. Well, it's actually from Washington, but this comes from Kara, and her mother-in-law did a trip. They got in their RV and drove up from Washington up to the Yukon, and found a bunch of these postcards that were free. And so she thought it would be kind of funny to send them to me one by one. So I don't know how many are in the series that she has to send me, but she has numbered them on the back. So this was the first one I got, and she sent it May 27th. This card, let's read about what it says. Leslie Long lives and works in Whitehorse, Yukon. She has an inquiring mind, and then there's a cancellation over top of it. But she says, while her practice began with photography, it became multidisciplinary, often involving non-traditional material techniques. She is currently focusing her artistic impression in 5 areas: jewelry, ceramics, mixed media arts, photography, and lino cut printmaking. And for Canada's 150th anniversary, which was a few years ago now, the banner design, Leon created a lino cut Klondike Gold Rush Mounties in red serge and hand colored the print with watercolors. The design illustrates Yukon's unity with Canada, the world-famous period in Yukon's history, and iconic caribou antlers of Canada's north. So that's what we're seeing here in card number 1. And I say card number 1 for Kara. Well, there's these stamps. We have an older one and a forever one there. Because card number 2 showed up too. This one here from the Yukon. You can see the beautiful drive. And this says the Alaska Highway 75th anniversary, as illustrated by Aaron Dixon, a longtime Yukoner. Yukoner, yeah. Erin Dixon is inspired by the territory's trails and trees. Her family spends most summers camping and hiking and winters ice fishing and snowshoeing. She usually lives, and once again, the cancellations over top of it, combinations to define Yukon's wilderness and express what it's like to live here. In Alaska Highway 75th anniversary, Dixon draws from the many childhood trips she made up and down the highway with her family. The mountains in the painting are from one of her strongest memories of the old Alaska Highway, where the road ran through Pink Mountains and Steamboat Mountains, and the cliffs rise up on the side and drop down the other. So as you venture up from Maine, or not Maine, from Washington, where Kara lives, you would go through the province of British Columbia and then up into the Yukon before going back into Alaska, back in the United States, up there in the corner. So thank you, Kara, for that. And once again, she's added an older stamp to go along with it, and kind of a cute cancellation on that one. All right, now we're getting into the last 2 people that sent things. I'm separating it this way because quite a few things came in. So the first one comes from Media in Helsinki in Finland. We have this doll card that arrived. And this came from when she was in Latvia. And cool hockey stamp there on it for the time when the 2021 Worlds were there for hockey. So that one arrived this week. And then this envelope arrived also from Latvia. There are the stamps. And inside, we have this card, beautiful scene. She talks about her trip there. And this from Riga. So those 2 lovely cards arrived while she was away. And she had a week's vacation. This one showed up this week as well from Finland. Another one from Media. And we have this one here of all the tubers going down the river. That is a lot of tubers. It's hard to probably enjoy the water when you've got that many people going down it. And then we have this rhino that she bought at the zoo. And this one here of all the different modes that the police officers might have. Horseback, like our Mounties, motorcycle, bicycle, car. There's a boat back there as well. So, how's that? These all were sent May 28th in this card. And then they arrived. And then we have this envelope that comes from Estonia. And the price of stamps in Estonia has gone up, so it's a little bit more expensive to send from there. It used to be cheaper. We have this beautiful image. Nice foggy morning. It was foggy here this morning too, speaking of that. And then we have this doe or fawn. This one's blank, so I can send that one back out again. And this beautiful card as well, also blank, so it will be sent back out into the world. Those were sent May 27th. And then, Media wasn't finished. This one showed up also with a nice finished stamp. Well, 2 finished stamps, but I'm focusing on the one that's different than what you normally would get. And inside that, this one was sent June 4th. We have kind of a military one here. So she bought this one when she was in Tallinn. She was in Estonia. But with it, she sent this Estonian maxi card. Love the massive stamp. So thank you for those. Thank you for all that stuff that is showing up. I know you were worried about some things hadn't arrived yet. Well, they all arrived this week. So sometimes that happens. The post office gets caught up somehow, and eventually it works itself out. All right, my last one I have is this one here. This one comes from Ross when he was in Perth in Australia. And there's the Australian stamp. And then he left Australia and he went to England, and he just started sending cards like crazy. So let's start showing them to you. And he said he even got to the point where he didn't know have a funny thing to say on it, so he just wrote my address, put a stamp on it, put it in the mail. So we have this one here of beautiful post boxes in England, post boxes of the United Kingdom. So we've got the Victoria Regina lamp box, the Elizabeth II lamp box, and the George VI Type B wall box. That's what we're looking at. And there's a postal museum stamp on the back. And then we have this one here of an Edward VII post box. And that postal stamp from the Postal Museum on the back. And we have this Elizabeth II double post box card. And that postal stamp on the back. And then you have this multi one that has George VI Type B wall box, the Elizabeth II Type C double pillar box, Elizabeth II lamp box, Victoria Regina penfold pillar box, and Victoria Regina lamp box, and also an Edward VII Type P pillar box. You can pause it and see it all there and go through if you like on the stamp. This one I really liked. Not that I didn't like the other ones, but this one, when I saw it, was like, wow, I want to do that one day. This is the mail rail that they have under the under London. You can actually take a tour on this. It's about 30 minutes, I think he said it was. But if you go into the Postal Museum, this would be my highlight, I think. Go down on the rail, take the 30-minute ride that it does. Here's the stamp. Super cool. And then we've got this one here, which he said, Postcrossers Unite on the back. Said, is this an old pastime? Well, people have been sending postcards for a long time, and stamp collectors have been around for a long time, so yeah, it's probably an old pastime. And I said these ones here, please pack your parcels very carefully. Oh, someone sent a doggy and it got all smashed up. It does happen if you don't package properly, going through the systems, moving from belts to trucks to, yeah, things get damaged. And there's the stamp. And then we have, I'm a member of POCO's, Postcode Fan Club. Are you also from the Postal Museum? From the 1980s. So all of these postcards with all were Postal Museum postcards. And then he moved on. He went to Richmond upon Thames. And what's famous here now is the show Ted Lasso. Looking at the history of it, there's a lot of things that have happened in this town. He's got Go Greyhounds on the back. We've got a King Charles III stamp there on the back. And I really like Ted Lasso. Ross really likes Ted Lasso, so he sent me some pictures from there, sent me these postcards. He said this one here is Richmond Green, which is just a stone's throw away from May's Pub, which is featured a lot in Ted Lasso. And the stamp again. So Ross, thank you for all those postcards. Incredible. I mean, getting so many postcards. I mean, we're probably dating now, right, Ross? Is that what's going on? Is that what you're telling me? And when you're dating, sometimes they send gifts. So Ross sent a gift too. This showed up unexpectedly last night. Shanda and I were going to leave the house, go for a walk that we normally do in the evening. And this was sitting on the outdoor step. So we'll open it up. And it says, a little something for you. And we've got a pillar box here that says milk chocolate coins. Well, we've got to take the tape off first. And we pop the top of the pillar box off. And inside you have a bag of milk chocolate coins. Well, I guess we're going to have to open that up. And let's look at one of them here. M&S. To me, M&S is Marks and Spencer's, so I am hoping that's where these are from. M&S Foods. That'd be my guess. What's it say inside? Does it say anything that M&S is Marks and Spencer's? Now, to me, M&S is Marks and Spencer's. So let's try a chocolate coin, which you take the foil off. And it's what you expect. It's basic chocolate. It's good. It's not a Cadbury's. It's not a Hershey's. It's not a Lindt. All sorts of varieties out there of good chocolate. But it's a decent chocolate. What's really cool though is the box. I'm gonna love having this. You'll probably start seeing this in the background of my videos. Because it's super cool, and it's got a slot where the cookies could go back in, or you could put real coins in and turn it into a piggy bank. So thank you, Ross, for that. He wasn't done though. He sent another one. Says, I bought these. The guy he bought these from says, oh yeah, just add additional postage, but UPS guy said, yeah, that's considered a parcel if going to Canada. So he didn't mail them that way. He put them in the box, but he could have mailed them that way. Santa Monica Zombie Apocalypse postcard. But what's different about it? Look at that. It's made of wood. We've got a wooden postcard. Pretty thick. But yeah, it'll go through the mail. I've gotten one wooden postcard before in the past. But now we have this Santa Monica, California. So I can see that Ross has gone from Australia to Great Britain and now to the United States. So I am tracking his progress around the world through postal gifts. And then we've got a Route 66 one. But what I'm going to show you, they are all blank. So as much as I love these quirky things and like getting them, because these ones are all blank, they're eventually going to go back out into the world. I'm going to have fun sending them off to somebody else. And I've said that before. That's kind of my rule, that if you send me a postcard that's not filled out on the back, it's not been marked up some way, I am most likely going to return the favor to someone else and send it off so they can enjoy it too. Because that's the fun thing about this hobby. I know there's lots of people that collect the postcards. And I do. If your postcard comes like this and it has a stamp and a message on the back, it stays with me. It goes in a binder. I don't put a paper over it and remail it out or anything like that. But if it comes with nothing on the back of it, then it's going to go back out so someone else can enjoy it. That's kind of the deal. So thank you, Ross, for everything. I mean, there's tons of stuff you sent. I really appreciate it. You taking the time to keep me posted on where you are in the world through all these postcards. So even if they're showing up long after you've been there, that's pretty cool to see and to get some of these memories. Maria as well, thank you for everything you've sent that has finally arrived. I appreciate that. And to everyone else, it was a good week. I mean, I'm not going to complain about what's showing up. This blew me away, all this stuff. I've got some things that I got to do to get to you guys. This has been a long video. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it, stayed through right to the end, and got to see everything that everyone sent in. I'm probably going to enjoy a couple more chocolate coins as the day goes on, especially before the kids get home, so I can have a couple, and then they can have some later. That's the plan anyways. So you guys, tune in for tomorrow. You got till the end of today to get your questions in for that Dad Guy Answers video, and then tomorrow I will answer your questions and see how the weather is, about whether or not I can take you to a few festivals as well. All right, Have a magical week.
What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?